Yeah,
Okay,
amazing.
perfect.
Okay. Yeah. Hi guys. This is Chris from DoraHacks. Welcome back. Today is the second workshop for Algorand hackathon. So a little bit background intro. This is actually the very first time for DoraHacks. This is actually the very first time for DoraHacks to support Algorand developer initiatives. So it's definitely a very exciting moment for us. For this hackathon, just want to inform all of the participants or all of the developers who want to join the hackathon, you need to register through the official links. There's a registration form that you are requested to fill out. And after you finish the registration form, you can submit the final actual project through the DoraHacks Algorand Hackathon portal, so that you'll be qualified. And there are different tracks, there are different requirements, criteria. So please read all of the info carefully before you actually choose which tracks you want to participate. Because like if you are in the wrong track, in the end, we can, like even it's a super good project, we cannot select you as the final winners. So definitely be careful on that. Yeah, okay, back to the main topic today. Today we are very happy to have a couple of speakers to join us. And the topic for today is how to use Gora, not Dora. So yeah, I think maybe start from Fred. Do you want to give a self intro for all of the audience, and we can start from here.
Yes, okay. Thank you very much for having us. We are Gora, the next generation Oracle built on Algorand. Actually, as you probably know, Gora was a project that originally was created as part of a hackathon 2 years ago. So for us, it's very exciting to be here and share not only our experience as a project, but also all the knowledge our team is ready to share with you. So this is my short intro. I prefer to move on and give the word to Adam, so Adam can give you more insight on us. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks, Fred. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Adam. I am a developer relations over here for Gora Network, and I'm going to run you through the documentation and how to set up Sandbox and Node and a Gora node and connect and run this example app. So if there's nothing else to cover, I can just jump right in. So let me share my screen. All right, let me move this out of the way. Okay, so I am running an OCI instance here. So it is Linux. So if we list out, we can see that we've already pulled in and set up the environment so that we can run Sandbox, just to save a little bit of time in troubleshooting here. But where we're really going to start is with the Gora Network GitHub. So here at the developer quick start, we have a README that will walk you through all of the instructions that you will need to set up your local environment and begin testing. And so we're going to walk through an example that will show you how to connect an example app. And if you can get this started, then you should have all of the knowledge that you will need to run through with your own application. So the very first thing is to, this is a kind of a three-part instructions where first you're going to set up your prerequisites in your environment. This is with Algorand Sandbox and Algorand Beaker framework. Beaker will become important a little bit later. So we are not going to go through showing how to set up Sandbox, but there are instructions with these links, and Algorand has a plethora of documentation out there to help you with this. But first, we're going to set up Sandbox so that we have Algorand running locally. And then we are going to set up the Gora software, so the Goracle Node Runner software. And I will walk you through all of that, and then the example app down here. So first is starting Sandbox. So we can see that we already have the Sandbox directory. We've pulled this information in here. So we will change directory to Sandbox, and then it is just a simple Sandbox up command, and we will get this started. So as we can see, everything looks like it has started successfully. But if we go over to the docs to check that an Algorand development node is up and running on your host, you're going to execute this curl command. And if this is successful, we should get a JSON response showing the Genesis ID sandnet-v1. So we will drop this in here, run it, and we can see, yes, indeed, we have Genesis ID sandnet-v1. So our Sandbox is running, and we are good to move on to the next step. So I'll just increase this a little bit here. So both the Gora smart contracts and Gora node are managed with the Gora CLI. So the first thing we need to do is take this link. So we'll copy the link address here, and let's clear the screen, go back to our home directory, and we are just going to wget and drop the URL in. This will only take a few seconds, and that's going to pull in the binary. So if we list this out, we can see we do indeed have the Goracle binary, but it is a non-executable file right now. So if we go down, we can see that we need to change the executables or change this file to make it executable. So chmod plus x, Goracle. We'll list this out again. We can see it is green. This is now in fact executable. So, okay, so warning here, do not follow the normal Gora node setup. So we do have instructions. We have videos and documentation out there for testnet and mainnet. Just note that this is not either. So if you follow the testnet or the mainnet node setup, this is not going to work for you. This is a separate developer environment. So the instructions here at the developer quick start are important that you follow. Otherwise, your node is not going to start and it will not connect to Sandbox. So now that we've pulled in the binary, we've made that executable. We're going to set up our development node by running Goracle config file.goracle dev init. So this is going to initialize our node, and it's going to create a config file called .goracle_dev. And I will show you where that is and what's in it, and that we are connected to Sandbox. So we will run init. Give this a few seconds here. All right, so while this is going, we can take note of we can see that it's creating a new token asset ID 1280 and a new Gora main app ID 1281. These are going to be important a little bit later when we're going through with our example app to ensure that we are connecting properly. So as this goes through, it's also creating that .goracle_dev config file. And we will pull that up once this is complete. All right, so if we look through here, we have our main account mnemonic. So main account address, participation, mnemonic, and participation address. So if you're familiar with the Gora network, these are important in terms of how we as how the node runner software is processing requests and just paying transactions and going through everything that it goes through. So we can see writing config to home ubuntu.goracle dev. So if we list this out, we can see here that we now indeed do have a .goracle_dev config file. And if we cat this, we can see it is in JSON format. And right here, server HTTP localhost 4001, this is our sandbox. So we are connected to the sandbox that is running. And we can also see our main address and some additional information here, like our mnemonic. So make sure that if you're ever running a real Gora node, if you're ever migrating or doing anything, it's really important to ensure that you're backing up this file. Now we can go to, so we've initialized, we have our config file, and now all we have to do is run the start command. So this is a Docker container. Docker is one of the prerequisites. So as long as you have Docker installed, you should be okay. So we can see as it runs through, we do have the current version, and we can come through here and we can see once again our smart contract, main smart contract is 1281, and our token asset ID is 1280. And these are what we are going to need here in just a little bit. And we can see down here that is waiting for next Oracle request. So if you get to this point and this is what you see, then your Gora node is in fact up and running, and it is waiting for the data request. So I have opened up another terminal so that we can keep this information up, because once we start the application, we're going to see that it will start processing those requests. So let's go back to the documentation, and we can go down to our example app. So the example app, const.py, is going to demonstrate the use of Gora with our test Oracle source. So it is, this is built in and will always return a value of 1, allowing for reliable testing. So this is just going to show you how everything is working and ensure that you know how to do it for your own application. And again, the example app is built with Algorand's Beaker framework. So it is important that you have Beaker installed, and it is extensively commented. And I believe MG will be walking through the example app code, and you will be able to see those comments there. Should be pretty easy to follow. So the first thing we need to do before running any of these commands is we need to pull in the repo. So the developer quick start repo, just come here to code, copy, and then git clone the URL. I am not going to run that because we have already done this. As we can see, we have the developer quick start here already. So we will change directory to developer quick start and come back to our instructions. All right, to run the example app, you must point it to your local Gora network and check the outputs, your Gora developer node for messages like smart contracts. So this is where the token asset ID and the main smart contract ID come into play, and why we have this, this other window still up. So we can see 1280 and 1281. These are going to be important. So we're going to just copy this command right here. And we will come over, drop this in. The first thing we need to do is our main app ID. And that is 1281. And then come over and change out our token asset ID as well. And we can see that our token asset ID is 1280. All right. Now, if I run this right now, it's going to yell at me. And the reason is because this says Python, but we are actually running Python 3. So you go through and you set up your environment with Python 3, which you most likely will, then just make sure that if you get yelled at this point, you are adding v3 here. So we will run that, and we can see that it is deploying the app right now. And we'll give this a few seconds and watch it go through, but then we will see it start to process the Oracle request over here. So we'll just let this run for a few. All right, now it is calling the application, and we can come back over here and we see it did process the request. Okay, request ID, confirm, everything ran smoothly. So if we come back over here, once the app compiles and executes, the node should pick up the request, showing a message like processing Oracle request ID. So if we look, we can see right here, processing Oracle requests with our request ID. So everything has worked well, and these are the same steps that you need to follow to connect your app. And then you can run with AlgoKit and check this with DAppFlow as well. We didn't go through that today, but I will be following up with a video covering all of this and adding hopefully a little bit more detail so that everyone will have not only this video that's being created today, but also another video released by Gora. And then I am always available to answer questions as everyone goes through this process. All right, I think that's it. So next, MG, if you wanted to.
Yeah, thank you. Gladly, I'll jump right in. Let me just
say
hello, everybody. Welcome to this session. I'm just so glad to present to you about some details about the code of the example repository prepared by my dear colleagues, at Gora team. And we start to go a little bit deep on what's going on in this example and what this code does. And we hope that you developers can use this very simplistic example in order to build beyond, and just for the sake of getting the concept and getting the foundation of how to talk to Gora protocol. This is a very, very thoroughly and heavily and extensively documented example that you could use. And we just gladly and excitedly waiting for you to see what would you build with Gora protocol. Okay, let's just dive right in, and let me just share my screen here with you. If you go through the, here it is, it should be shown right now. Okay, if you go through the one body application of the example const.py, you will see that, first of all, let me explain to you which every one of these things here are doing. PyTeal is a higher level language for a VM that actually eventually compiles to Teal. It is some easier way in order to use a similar to Python syntax to create the smart contracts for Algorand, so very useful. And Beaker is an amazing framework on top of PyTeal and even other near to JavaScript-based languages, high-level languages of Teal that encapsulates and gives you all of the heavy lifting toolings that you need as a developer to go on not only with the smart contract development, but also with Algorand clients management, and also the network management, which network to connect you, testnet, devnet, sandnet, and so on and so forth. So it's an amazing framework in order to get up and running with developing smart contracts for Algorand in no time. And just sugar on the top, AlgoKit has arrived, and AlgoKit is using extensively whatever tooling and tool set that we are using in this example in a very more convenient way, all in one CLI. So that is so much recommended as well. But let's go back to the code here. Beaker and PyTel are there in order to serve us to create it, take care of everything regarding network application programming and also client management. We use the UUID to create our request universally unique IDs. Base 64 is needed whenever you want to talk to Algorand in terms of interpretation of data or read data or write data, encode data in order to be sent to Algorand. There's always base 64 encoding and decoding needed. The regular expressions are there for you to extract the desired patterns from strings out, and the GORA package there is there to take care of everything regarding the GORA protocol in order to for you to have a very convenient and simple experience throughout this example. Here, using Beaker, we just simply create an application that has 3 methods involved. One of them initiates that for you, opts that application into the GORA because it needs the GORA token to be staked in order to work for GORA protocol. And also there's a function for you to call which always returns the constant 1 in order to, again, for sake of simplicity, for understanding the protocol itself rather than showing up what functionalities it can provide for you. And also you have another method which will be called by the voting contracts after your requests have been approved and received some votes over the node, which in parallel, as my dear colleague Adam explained for you, is running. So there is a node and there is your created contract. Your created contract invokes an inner transaction that requests for a reading from that Oracle source, and that Oracle source, after being approved, sends back by calling an ABI call on your application, which allows us to have a global state on that application, including the last read value from the Oracle source. So this is the whole purpose. Very simply put it out in 3 simple methods, and with the magic of the Beaker, you can have it all in one file, all going through. Just one note, it is included in our documentation as well, but just be aware of this, that Beaker in some point turned the strategy about how to add everything, add new methods and everything. Previously, it was the Python class components, but now the newer versions of Beaker are using the decorations in order to provide new methods and add new things to the body of the application being programmed here. So please be aware of that, to use the most recent versions when you're using this tool set. And one final thing is going through the main function that being called as a main Python function over this quick start example application that automates the flow for you as a developer by getting your default account from your local node on Sandbox, and then creating the application for you, funding them for MBRs, minimum balance requirements for bugs, and opting into GORA and so on and so forth, and then deploying your smart contract application, which exists on the same file, the methods and the functions and the created application by Beaker, a little bit above on the same code. And then after funding that contract and deploying your application, creates that ABI call and invokes it, calls your application, already created application by that ABI call, and included all of the arguments required for that ABI call, so that in turn your already created smart contract application can invoke that inner transaction toward the GORA network and receive the response via another ABI call, which is in return turned back from the voting contracts into one of other methods available on the same contract. So as simple as that, you can create A to Z how to create an application on chain which talks to GORA network by GORA protocol, and that's as easy as that. And I hope you get on with it and create amazing things using the GORA protocol. Thank you so much.
Chris, I don't know if you want to give word to the audience to make questions or anything?
Yeah, sure. Let me check if there's any questions. Ling, actually, can you help me to check in the public live stream room? Yeah. While we are waiting, just want okay, yeah, there's one question. Is Rust and JavaScript supported for Gora? I'm not sure, like, if anyone wants to answer this question.
Jesse?
Jesse?
Sorry. So when they're asking for Rust and JavaScript, I'm sorry, I'm like not exactly sure which part are they using. Are they asking like with the SDK to generate requests onto Gora, or I'm not exactly sure what the where their language use is coming in.
May I
Yeah.
just add a little bit on that? When you use the essence to this is, talking the protocol. You can take care of your tool set in order to create your client, create a request to that API calls. Right after all this, that's an API call on some smart contracts on chain. So regardless of which programming language you use, or which client-based you use in order to create those API calls, as long as you comply to that protocol, you should be fine using the Gora protocol and working with it. But we use the Python because it's the most widely used regarding coming of AlgoKit and the very soon being released, being identical Python syntax for development of the smart contract for Algorand. With that promise coming, everybody's excited about Python and writing it in PyTil and using Beaker and using AlgoKit as well. So we decided to use the Python for this example, but feel free to use other languages, other SDKs, and other means to call that same API call with the right arguments, and you will always receive the same response.
Cool. Thank you. I hope that answered the questions. And we can wait for a couple more minutes to see if there's any questions. But while we are waiting, just want to repeat from the beginning that I mentioned is that if you are a person that want to join the hackathons, please make sure that you attached at the DoraHacks submission portal top. You can find it there, and you have to register as a developer. And after you finish fill out the registration form, you can submit again about your actual project through DoraHacks submission portal, and this can help you to get reviewed by the final judges. Yeah, and meanwhile, if you have any questions for either hackathons or if you met any difficulties doing the submissions, always feel free to reach out to DoraHacks team. We will have teammates 24/7 located in different time zones to answer the questions that you might have. And if you have any questions on the technical side, on Algorand side, I believe Algorand team have prepared a very well-established and easy to understand documentations for developers. So you can always find the useful links in the documentation's website. And if you want to watch again of today's workshops or previous workshops, you can go to DoraHacks YouTube channels. We will upload the recording later for all of the workshops that had happened or that are going to happen during the hackathon. So yeah, I think there will be no more questions but appreciate everyone to join and watch this demo sessions, and definitely thanks all of the speakers today for giving such a comprehensive and precise workshop for all of the developers and audience. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys very much for joining us and contributing your time for the workshop.
Thanks.
And yeah, thank you. And I think we can wrap up here.
Bye.
Wonderful. Thank you, Chris.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you, JC. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, MG. Thank you, Fred.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys. So sorry. My power cord just got unplugged. I just needed to plug it again. Thank you so much for the amazing session. See you later.
Yes, I do want to add something else before you plug it out. I would love to say that Gora is so happy to be part of the Global Hackathon. As you probably know, Abdul, our CEO, is one of the judges. So Gora is very much integrated to this hackathon, and this is a great opportunity for Gora to present the Oracle solution to everybody, not only in Algorand, but also in other blockchains. But especially in Algorand and for Algorand community is for us a great opportunity to present this Oracle solution for everybody. And hopefully you have a great hack and you can use our tool very easily and smoothly. Any questions, you can please reach us in our social media. We have a Discord channel for developers in our Discord server, so please join. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, guys.